In developing tonight, a high-profile federal corruption case against a former Chicago alderman took the first step toward trial today. Former 22nd Ward Alderman Ricardo Munoz is accused of stealing campaign donations to buy tickets, trips, and even school tuition.
WGN's Mike Lowe is live at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse with more on that. Mike?
Micah and Ray, good evening to both of you. During a federal court hearing today, the ex-alderman pleaded not guilty to charges that he misused campaign funds, spent the money on himself, and then lied about it to election officials.
Munoz.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President.
Former Alderman Ricardo Munoz, who served on the Chicago City Council for 26 years,
It's rare that I get up and stand in the city council to talk.
is now talking to a federal judge. Today, he was arraigned on corruption charges during a hearing held over the phone. A federal indictment charges him with 15 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of money laundering. Former Alderman Dick Simpson spoke with WGN News when the charges were announced.
These are a part of a continuing effort by the federal government to catch corruption and crime in Chicago.
The 56-year-old served as alderman of the city's 22nd Ward from 1993 to 2019 after graduating from NIU.
He has had problems and ended up not running for re-election and is out of public office now. He was actually a quite good alderman when he served as alderman, as a progressive alderman.
He rose to be the chairman of the City Council's Progressive Reform Caucus.
What we do, which is not depend on gimmicks.
And also served as the caucus's treasurer. Federal investigators allege he used that position to form a political action committee, raising money from donors. They say Munoz controlled the cash and made improper withdrawals using a debit card or simply transferring the money to his own campaign fund. From there, the U.S. attorney says the funds went to his personal bank account. In a 29-page indictment, federal prosecutors allege that Munoz spent the political donations on personal expenses like college tuition for a relative, jewelry, clothing, cell phones, vacations, sports tickets, and airline tickets.
There are charges that he used some of his political funds for personal matters. I know that he was in the process of paying some of that back, maybe most of it.
In court today, Munoz waived the right to have the indictment read. Instead, his lawyer, Richard Kling, simply stated, quote, "We would enter the plea of not guilty to all charges." The Munoz allegations were announced the same day that federal authorities indicted Alderman Patrick Daley Thompson on tax and banking charges.
This continues the pattern of aldermanic corruption, which Mayor Lightfoot ran against and which many of the aldermen who are currently sitting in the city council ran against.
And Munoz was released on a recognizance bond, which essentially means he doesn't have to pay bail, but he does have to promise to be at that next court hearing, which is now scheduled for the first week of June. Reporting live tonight outside of the Dirksen Federal Building in the Loop, Mike Lowe, WGN News.